Hey, deserving listeners, welcome to the Psychology in Seattle podcast. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I am a licensed therapist and a professor, and I'm going to react to this TV show that is called 90 Day Fiancé, Before the 90 Days, and we're going to follow Ed and Rose's story. Let's get to it and see if I have any worthy reactions.
Maria's going to take good care of you, okay, buddy? I'm a little bit sad for Prince, but after staying here the night and seeing how she lives, I need some alone time with Rose so I can figure out if her feelings are really real for me.
I'm glad he's a little bit sad for Prince. I'm sad for Prince. He probably is a little bit confused or a lot confused. He misses his mom, which is normal. So, you know, that's another whole part of this story that they don't show us a lot of information on. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Ed has compassion for Prince's situation.
I decided not to confront Maria about how she asked me for money and asked me not to tell Rose. I think it's important that I talk to Rose first because I need to find out whether she had anything to do with it. Bye-bye, thank you again.
So it's probably a good choice. Talk to Rose first. Yeah, it's probably a good choice.
Rose and I have only made love once, so being intimate is still quite new for us. But all in all, I think Rose and I have good chemistry. I brought along a couple presents from home, so I think now is the time to give her lingerie. You want to try that on now?
It's always a huge question with this couple as to how she really feels about this. Does she feel like she can say no in this situation? Is she ready to do this sort of thing? Does she have to agree to it because she is worried about him rejecting her? Does she feel controlled in some way? Does she feel exploited? I worry about her in this situation. Having said that, it's completely possible that she's super into it and she likes the clothes. There's just a lot of question marks.
This is going to be less romantic. So this is mouthwash. And I got you a cute toothbrush. This, your breath is not pretty.
Yikes. Your breath is not pretty. Okay, you know, when we watch this scene, it's pretty cringeworthy though, right? It feels exploitative. It feels controlling for Ed to say, your breath is gross. You need to do something about it. Your breath isn't pretty. But, you know, these kinds of conversations aren't inherently dysfunctional. Some of you listening out there might have a spouse who occasionally has bad breath. I imagine many of you point that out. You know, when I have bad breath and I'm hugging my wife and, you know, she'll be like, ugh, your breath. And I'll be like, huh? And okay, where's the mint? You know, it's just part of being in a relationship. But because Ed is older, because he comes from a privileged society, because he's a man, it feels worrisome of the control and the exploitation and the agency difference. So hopefully they can navigate that through moments like this. And so let's see what her reaction is.
One of the first things I noticed, even at the airport, you know, was her breath, but I didn't know how to bring it up. And I don't think she realizes it, but I do. And then I got you good toothpaste.
Okay.
Do you know that my concern is your health? Because if you get disease in your mouth, it goes to your heart. You could get sick.
So, yeah, good, I guess. It's hard to know what's going on in her mind. She's giving a facial expression which could either be hurt or could just be confusion.
Do you understand?
I know what you mean, but this is from my stomach, not my teeth.
Oh,
I have an ulcer, you know.
Oh, you have an ulcer?
Yeah.
This is the first time you're telling me you have an ulcer?
I always toothbrush.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. I like this interaction because they're actually being real with each other. This is the sort of thing that people do when they're communicating and they're bonding. They open up, they express like, this is my experience, this is what I'm struggling with right now. This is my life. So although this isn't a happy topic, I consider this to be a positive step in the direction of actual intimacy between these two.
So now you tell me, I understand. From my heart, I care about you.
I know.
This illuminates more where Rose might be coming from. We don't know because we'd have to talk to her and hear about her subjective experience, but it's possible that this is another factor that leads her and her family to be very concerned about the poverty that her and her family live and her community lives, that healthcare for her ulcer might not be accessible to her at all. And we don't know the additional suffering that she's going through from that condition. And that could be a factor as you're looking for someone to date, maybe finding someone who you're not only attracted to and you like their personality, but also can give you access to medical care. It's something that people from privileged societies like myself don't necessarily consider as part of the dating algorithm, if you will. But for people that come from poverty, it might be part of their algorithm, if you will.
I'm so exalted that I want to give up pants to Ed, and I feel embarrassed. I think Ed is a rude person.
Okay, this is good. I mean, it's not good that this happened and she feels hurt by that, but I'm glad that we're hearing more from her inner experience. This is good. I hope she can say this to him and that they can work this out because this points in the direction that she's not being exploited, that she feels able to express her feelings and assert herself.
If Ed truly loved me, kailangan na lang tanggapin ni Ed kung ano ko.
I love you. I love you.
Pangit mo.
I love you.
Pangit mo.
Yikes. Uh-oh. Yikes. She's saying you're ugly twice in her language, and he doesn't understand what she's saying. That doesn't bode well. You know, what does that mean? Is she just passively striking back at him? Does she really feel that way? This is not a good sign.
I told Rose that she has really bad breath. Like really bad breath. My intention was not to insult her, but she got very upset. So I have to make it up to Rose and to make her feel so special that she'll forgive me.
So this is a troubling pattern. I can't necessarily know it's troubling, but it seems a little troubling to me. This has been a repeated pattern between the two of them where he will ask for something or say something that's very hurtful. We remember the STI fight that they had. And they also had over Skype a fight earlier in the season where he was like, you know, I've seen other pictures of you on Facebook. You have friends and these other guys, and what's up with that? And so he'll do these things, and then she will react against it, and then he'll feel really bad about it. And then instead of what I would imagine to be like, let's have a sit down and let me tell you my experience. I'm really sorry. How do you feel? Let's bond around this. Let me tell you my experience. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was doing it because of X, Y, and Z, and you know, maybe I'm stupid, and maybe I come from a weird culture, or maybe I should have asked you about your ulcer or something. You know, like having a heart-to-heart around what is going on inside of each of them and sharing that with each other. Instead, what he does is he has these romantic gestures, trying to win her over. That's not a bad thing to do, obviously. You know, people have different love languages, as they say, and maybe she'll receive this as a gesture of apology, which, you know, is possible. But it does set up, it's almost like he vacillates between two different modes. One mode is this romantic making up for mode, like, okay, I need to please her, I'm losing her, I need to be the perfect guy, I need to be romantic and win her over and impress her and spend a lot of money. And then another mode is saying things that seem tone deaf and hurt her feelings. And so I wish there was another mode somewhere in that repertoire of actually having a sit down and heart-to-heart and conversations. Maybe they're having that and the producers aren't showing that to us. I don't know, but it's just something to comment on. By the way, as I always say, I can't diagnose from afar. Everything I'm commenting on is based on what the producers are showing us and what the actors are also showing us. Also, while I'm on the subject, subscribe, hit the bell below.
It embarrassed me this morning. So I feel not good, I feel small.
Hi, how are you?
48. But I want to give Ed another chance to change his behavior. No more rude person.
Good. She's expressing herself. She has agency enough to say those things. By having a romantic gesture and a boat ride doesn't necessarily mean that they have fixed this routine that they get into. All right, well, that does it for that episode of Psychology in Seattle. Thanks for joining us out there, and please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.